Fact Friday! Except instead of a fun fact, it's another horrifying story. The full intro is back. I didn't realize you loved it so much. I love that you do. She's back. Grab your mug. Check your tea color. So, I was born in the UK, and one day when my kids ask me, Mom, where were you born? I'm gonna say, I was born in the UK, because that's what you do, right? Not if you're my mom. So, when I was growing up, my mom told me she was born in Paris. So cool. And I loved that. For me, I can say my mom was born in Paris. We grew up in the UK. If you ever have the misfortune of running into my mom, you will meet a charming British lady, super thick accent. So people would always say, your mom has such a thick British accent. I didn't realize your mom was British. And it made sense to me because my mom moved to the UK as like a 19 or 20-year-old. So, you know, it's a long time to live in the UK. Maybe you get a little accent. But I never doubted that she was born in France, because why would you lie about where you're born? So the things that I knew about my mom's origin story were that she was born in Paris. She moved to the UK when she was like 19 or 20, met my dad, stayed there for 20 years. And so that's why she has a British accent. Before she moved to the UK, she lived in America because she was an army brat. Her dad, my grandpa Fred, was in the military. Like, sounds legit. She also said that she was 30 years old when she had me. And so something cute was that we would always have the same last digit. So when I turned 1, she was 31. We always had the same last digit. And I feel like it's weird when you lie about really big things, but when you lie about little things, that's weirder to me. Like, why are we lying? So as I got older and my consciousness started forming, I noticed that if she met anyone who's French with a French accent, she had a really thick French accent. And she would say that she was from France. But if she met someone with a British accent, she would say she was from London, born and raised, and she would put on a really thick British accent. But if she met someone American and they happened to be from Colorado, accent would disappear. She's from Colorado. So as I got older, that started to feel a little weird to me, and I started to just straight up ask, but where are you from? Anytime I would ask, it would always be the same story. I was an army brat, I was born in Paris, went to the States, lived there for a little bit, then moved to the UK, so I'm French and British. And I liked that. It means that I have a UK passport, I can get a French passport, but I also have a US one, and where did that come from? Because I was born in the UK. Meanwhile, every birthday, we're celebrating the same last digit. I turned 12, she's supposed to be 42, right? I turned 20, that's her big 5-0. One day, I'm looking for something that she asked me to look for in her filing cabinet, and I see her birth certificate, and I'm like, that's cool. I don't think I've ever seen a birth certificate in person. Tell me why she was born in Sacramento. So I start digging, because this is news to me. So she was born in California, the United States, the US of A, grew up in Colorado and lived there until she was 19, and then went to the UK. Circling back to the birth certificate, was not 30 when she had me. So we've never had the same last digit. What a peculiar thing to lie about. I asked my dad about it, and my dad would just roll his eyes and be like, oh yeah, I have no idea how old your mom actually is. She's been lying about it the entirety of our relationship. And I remember being like, Dad, I found a piece of paper that says that Mom was born in California and wasn't born in Paris, Because sometimes when French people would like ask more questions to my mom, she would be like, oh no, not Paris, Belgium, like another French speaking place. I don't even know if she spent time there. Like, I know she has family there. I know that that's legit. Not born there, not raised there, fully an American that relocated to the UK at 19 or 20. Which is a fine story. Like, you can still have somewhat of a British accent if you just acquired it when you moved. Like, that's legit. You don't have to lie about that. But here I am telling people for my entire childhood and teenage years that my mom was born in Paris, lived in the US for a little bit as an army brat, and then moved to the UK. That's not true. But then I started really noticing that like whoever she would speak to, her story would change to the point where when she tried to rescue a dog, she said she was French, super thick accent, and she said she grew up on a dog farm. What is a dog farm? That sounds illegal. It's like a puppy mill. She called an animal rescue, and when they asked about her animal background, she goes, ah oui, well, I grew up in Paris, and we lived on this dog farm, and I have always loved dogs. I've been surrounded by dogs. Pardon? Why not just say the truth that you've owned a lot of dogs? That would have been fine. The woman on the phone even said, a dog farm? So yeah, if you ever have the misfortune of meeting my mom, ask her where she's from. Don't, because reminder, we're not doxing people. If you meet my mom, keep yourself safe. Like at this point, I think if you were Australian and you met my mom would be like, yeah, I'm from Australia as well. Like, it's crazy. Good eye. My daughter's on the internet lying about me. Happy Fun Fact Friday.
I'm an alcoholic. I'm in recovery. I'm also an addict. I'm in recovery. I've been sober for 5 years. Let's get ready for the gym while I talk to you guys about how I felt when I very first got sober when I was 21 years old. I was just thinking back on the first time I got sober. Really quick background on me, I have 2 sobriety dates. So the first time I got sober, I was 21. I stayed sober for a little over 3 years. Relapsed when I was like 24 years old. Now I've been sober for 5 years. So when I talk about my first sobriety, I'm talking about when I got sober when I was 21. When I first got sober, not happy. I was mad. I was in college, I was in a sorority, I went to a big football school, really upset that I couldn't go out and drink and be like other people. Struggled at first because I was like, well, this is not fair. I'm so young, I'm in college. Nice girl like me have being an alcoholic. Felt like I didn't belong. But I remember I was talking to a friend who at the time, he had gotten sober when he was like 16 or something crazy like that. I reached out to him and I was like, I'm having the hardest time being sober in college. I do not know how to handle this. What do I do? He said to me, he's like, Jordan, once you just accept that like not gonna maybe have like the normal college experience, emphasis on the normal in quotation marks, life is gonna get a lot easier. That for whatever reason, like flipped a switch in my brain. All I have to do is be like, you know what? It's not gonna look like everybody else's. And you know what? That's okay. It didn't change the fact that I was still angry. It didn't feel fair. I was like, well, I'm never gonna be able to have like at least as much fun as I was having when I was drinking, especially in college. Like there's no way. I was like, how am I supposed to have fun? How are guys gonna like me? How am I even supposed to like experience college without drinking? Like, what do you mean I have to do this forever? What really helped me with that was realizing that it is just like a one day at a time thing. I just have to wake up in the morning and decide for that day that I want to stay sober. That really helped me as well because in the beginning it was super overwhelming. Think about things like my wedding day, telling me I'm not gonna drink. I couldn't think about those things in the beginning because it was too overwhelming and honestly made me feel not excited for my life. When I was able to just focus on what was in front of me, I crossed all those other bridges when I got there. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't have to think about and theorize about what I'm gonna do in all these situations. I just have to think about today. That made things a lot easier. Now, when I relapsed, there were a couple different reasons I relapsed. One of them was because I had this massive notion that too young to be sober, I could probably squeeze a couple more years in. I was like, nice girl like me? How can I be an alcoholic? I don't have a DUI, never been to jail, gotten in trouble on campus, and I got in trouble with the campus police a little bit, but it wasn't that bad. I mean, like I heard stories about people doing like much worse. People even said to me when I would tell them I was sober, I didn't know you had a problem. You don't look like an alcoholic. And what helped was me understanding that there is no face to alcoholism, right? Like, I don't have to look a certain way to be an alcoholic or have certain consequences. Yes, everybody has to hit their rock bottom, but sometimes I believe that you can see rock bottom. Might not want to go all the way down there. I could see that I could go lower. There are a lot of things that I could do. That was one of the reasons I relapsed, because I was like, I just didn't really get in that much trouble yet. That's the key word, yet, for me at least. When I got sober the second time, I could just see that this was not going anywhere. And I could see that if I continued to drink like this, I was so lucky that I didn't have horrible consequences yet. I could see my bottom. I could see where I was going. I could see what would happen if I kept drinking. Just honestly didn't really feel like doing that. I really am a big believer. People are like, your rock bottom is when you stop digging. I really like that. I also like the concept of like, maybe you can see your bottom. You don't necessarily need to go all the way down there. Because I was like, maybe I just haven't hit my bottom yet. I don't have all of these consequences. In my experience, drinking and alcoholism is not defined by your consequences. Your consequences don't make you more of an alcoholic than somebody else. For me, like, my definition of being an alcoholic is when I start ingesting alcohol, I absolutely cannot stop and I lose all control. I can't control and enjoy my drinking. Doesn't matter what I look like on the outside. Honestly, like, it doesn't matter if I drink every night or if I just drink one night a week. If I start and cannot stop, for Jordan, I believe that makes me an alcoholic. So I don't know if that is like helpful to anybody, but I feel like a lot of people have been commenting like, I'm 19 or I'm 20 and I'm thinking about this and I might have a problem. And I just want to share my experience on what it was like being 21 and getting sober and being in an environment where it was so normalized. Everybody was drinking and using. And I was like, how can I tell if I have a problem or not? And I stopped looking at comparing my outsides to everybody else's outsides and just started focusing on me and how, like, what was going on internally, which was when I start, I cannot stop. And I've tried to stop and I can't. That made things a lot easier. So I don't know if that helps anybody, but yeah, I was really upset and just felt like life was unfair when I first got sober. But now I see that the best thing that could have ever happened to me. I mean, I would never be in this new apartment if I wasn't sober. There's just absolutely no way. There's no way I would have my job. There's no way I would have been able to chase my dream job. There's no way I would be able to take care of a dog, have a good relationship with my family. These things are so much more important to me. And I'm just so grateful. I love you guys. Bye.
So if you're in customer service right now and you're doing like a one-on-one type of interaction, right? Face-to-face, war versus war, you're on the front lines and you think, oh, like, I just wish I was on the phones. Like, that'd be so much easier. Like, that'd be nicer. Like, they're not going to be in my face. You are so wrong. You are so wrong. And let's talk about it. Because, baby, I was once in your shoes, right? The shoes don't fit anymore. Their size is 4 times too fucking small because I don't know what the fuck I got myself into, but it is way bigger than fucking expected. For about most of my little ass life, I want to say, how old am I right now? Fuck, I forget sometimes. Besides the point, I want to say about like 8-9 years now, I've been in customer service. Can you see it in my eyes? They're sparkling. I've done like restaurants, retail, everything under the sun. Literally Trish from Austin and Alley, but like a taller version and stupider, okay? And it was one retail shift I'll never forget, and I vowed and I said, I'm gonna be in an office after this. I don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna be on my feet. I'm not gonna be doing a one-on-one interaction face-to-face because I don't want them to see my face anymore. I want to be on the phones. I'll still do customer service. I'll do it on the phone. I'm about 8 clean months into my on the phones customer service right now. Let's give some stories and let's see if you still want to do that. Now, the job I do, I'm going to try to be as secretive as possible. It's kind of like the CIA, FBI, because I don't want people to fucking find me. But just know that I'm on the phones and people get transferred to my agency to be able to help them out, right? It's all helping, okay? But the clientele is more older people most of the time. Not all the time, but like, I want to say 70% of the time it's older people, and then the other half are just strays, right? But we never call them first. Baby, you come to my landline, and I'm supposed to help you because you want help, allegedly. Alleged. Now, granted, when I took this job, I was like, okay, when people are on the phones, like, they're either going to be nicer or, like, they could be meaner, but we can always just hang up, right? Like, if they don't want to talk to me, that red sparkly little button right there, right? It can't be too bad. Now, from doing this job, I've gotten the usual people calling me, cussing me out, calling me names I've never even fucking heard before, and I have to look it up on Wikipedia, and I'm like, oh, out of my age group, okay. But I'm still, like, you know, being cursed somehow. But then a month ago happened. So I'll never forget, it was a day at work. Red flag number 1. And I'm starting the day off as normal, and I want to say it was literally 12 p.m., right? My office hours are 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., right? Call me whenever you want during that time period. The second I'm fucking done is the second I'm done. So it's cute for me because even though my hours start at 9 a.m., at about 9:15 a.m. sharp, I'm usually done already, right? I've already answered the first call, and I've already gotten cussed out, cleaned fresh in the morning. I'm still in dream mode, right? Like, I just woke up from my dream nap, and now I'm at work right now, and now I'm being cussed out. I feel like I'm still in a nightmare that I had the night before. So I remember this guy gets transferred to me. I'm male, right? First red flag 2, I'm male. On the phones, I want to say I get along mostly with women the most. I mean, I still, strays, I'll get a couple males and they'll be nice to me, but the males are either freaky as hell, like I'm being flirted with somehow, I don't think they know my gender, or I'm just being cussed out. One or the other. It's kind of cute. So remember, the transfer agent calls in, he like gives the guys information, because that's what my job does. Basically, we have to get information on the person to be able to look them up and to be able to help them out, okay? So he starts giving the guys information. He's like, okay, like this, and this. He needs help with this. Can you help him out? And I said, I can. How are you today, sir? Now, the first initial squeak out of his dirty ass lips, I was like, okay, he sounds younger. This is going to be easier, right? Because normally the old people, no shade on you. I love you. You know, you've been along longer than me. This earth is all messed up. I know you're probably mad about the earth. Usually the younger ones are more fresh and sweet. Okay, long story short, I answer the phone. I'm like, hi, like, thank you for calling, blah, blah, blah. Like, do you have, like, blah, 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 blah. He's like, yes. I'm like, okay. I start going through my whole ass little spiel. And then once again, to be able to look them up in our system and be able to help them up, we have to ask for information, which the information was already provided. But I was just like, okay, like, I'm just going to confirm it with him. Like, he seemed a little irritable. And I was like, okay, like, I'm used to that because I'm irritable too, you know, band for band. Let's go to war. So I start confirming the information with him. And he's like, yes. But he's being very fucking short. And I'm like, okay, like, I understand, like, it's 12 p.m. We're all pooped. Then I'm like, okay, like, I'm going to pull you up in the system here. Like, just give me one moment. Like, I just got to confirm one more thing with you. And I'm going to say it, and he's like, hold on, like, excuse me. And I'm like, okay, like, I'm excused. Like, I didn't even sneeze, but you know what? Like, excuse me. And I'm like, okay, like, what's up, sir? Like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? Talk to me. And he was like, yeah, like, I just want to say, like, you sound, like, gay as fuck. Like, I don't want help from a gay person. Goodbye. You know what? I'm not, like... Once again, came from customer service where we do it like face to face. I've never in my life gotten like such a quick clock. There was no cussing, anything. Well, there was as fuck. I was gay as fuck. I wasn't just a rainbow that day. I was as fuck the rainbow. And I just got silent. I started laughing, and then you heard, he hung up the phone. Perfect. Sat in silence for a little bit after that one. By silence, I mean 2 minutes, and then somebody else started calling me, so I had to lock back in. I think the person was a little nicer after that. Actually, no, probably not. The second thing I've learned from doing customer service on the phone, you realize that once they pick up that phone or they call you, even if they call you, they are held at hostage, a hostage situation, literally. It's Dateline, right? Reborn. They cannot hit the red button. Like, it's kind of like a test, right? The Hunger. If they hit that red button, everything will poof, including them and their whole extended bloodline and, like, their poodles, if they have any animals in the facility, any good friends they have, like, they will all perish. You're the only one that can hit that red button. I found that out multiple different times because people will be transferred into my agency and they will be screaming blood, like, octaves I've never heard in my life. Keep in mind, these are most of the time older people. I did not even think their tone could get that fucking high. Squealing bloody murder. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't know why the F I got transferred. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk. Now, once again, what I was born and raised to do, if I don't want to be on the phone, that's the beauty of it. I love phones because if I don't want to talk to you anymore, that's what you're going to hear on your own. But not with these people and not when people call into your facility. It's a hostage situation. You're the only one that can hit that red button. I've had to explain to multiple times to people on the phone, okay, there's a red button. Why did you not hit it? Screaming gets louder, right? So it's just a situation where you are the only one that has access to that red button to end the phone call. They do not. You have to understand that because people will call you and say, I don't want to effing talk to you and cuss you out and say, get off of my phone. Why don't you do it? That's my question, not trying to start drama, okay? Now, this one might be more of a niche problem that I kind of found out because of my makeup model, my stature. They don't know what gender you are on the phone sometimes. They don't. Now, this is probably easier for, I don't know, somebody named Rebecca, and they have a high voice. Maybe that's a little easier, but my name is Dylan. And my voice sounds like this. Now, granted, I do not have a set of boobs. I do not. People like to think I am. I've had men transferred into my queue, and they've asked me what my boobs look like, if I'm single, do I wear lipstick, being so serious. My name is Dylan. I do not have boobs. Also, one of my favorite stories, too, is I actually was on the phone with this lady for 40 minutes, and we got to, like, a certain part on the phone call where, like, we were filling out something, and she was kind of doing a little rotating thing. Adorable as fuck, sweetest lady ever, but I noticed that she was going from ma'am to sir every 2 seconds. Broke my heart a couple of times because sometimes she would say sir and I'd be like, okay, wait. And like mid when I'm doing this, like it's a win. She'd be like, oh, I mean, I'm sorry, ma'am, they, tuna salad, right? We didn't know the pronouns there. Broke my heart. So that's a thing for somebody who has a voice that I guess isn't standard to their gender. I don't really know. Just know if you're a male with a higher voice, you're going to be called anything under the book. If you're a female with a lower voice, you might be treated like a man. I don't know. All rules go. I would also love to let people know too as well. Even though you're on the phone and somebody calls in directly to you, you are a scammer. I would like to let you know that as well. Now, granted, I can't even hate the girls for this one because some people will call in, and once again, when we're confirming the information with them, immediately, you're a scammer, you're dirty, you're stealing my information. I'll give it to you. In today's day and age, I'm the same way, babe. I'm the same. But they will, like, clock it, and, like, it doesn't really make sense some of the time either. That's what you'll learn. A lot doesn't make sense in today's society. I thought I realized that, like, 101 on the customer service floor, but it gets worse on the phone, like the senileness. For example, but not limited to, like, I was on the phone with somebody the other day, and I was like, okay, like, could you confirm your birthday? No, like, I'm not giving you my birthday. Like, why would I give you my birthday? Like, that's personal, sensitive information. I understand that. Baby, can I tell you a secret? There's about a billion other people with the same birthday. What now, right? Like, you're special. Like, you do not have the only same birthday. You are not that special, but they think they are that special, right? But the reason why it's an issue, because you know what, I get it. You don't want to give a birthday. You don't want a free coupon. I get it, my love. I get it. I get it. But where she lost me on the phone, I'm not giving you my effing birthday, this and that. Like, what other information do you need from me? Like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, you're not going to like the next question because in order to pull up your file, it's with your social. To which she gave me her whole entire social security number as well as her address. I'm not making this up. Her social security number and her address, but was refusing to give the birthday. All right. I was able to pull up her file and we stayed on the phone for another 50 minutes. Still had a nasty attitude on her, but damn. I'm not stealing her birthday, right? So just watch this video when you think about, oh, like, I need to make that move. Like, I can't do this in person anymore. I promise you, baby, it's worse on the phones. Oh, it's way worse. Because I swear when they're not looking you dead in your little eyes, they get a little more nastier. Once again, I've had even crazier interactions, like, in person. But, like, I swear it gets more senile on the fucking phone. So this is my call to action to say it does not get better. Not at all. We just all need to drop our jobs at this point. I don't know. Roam the streets, picking flowers and shit, making flower crowns, throw it back to 2012. I'm not sure. It does not get better. All right. Love you guys.
I gave you the man, but you're still fucking stalking me. Oh, what's that? You and him ain't together no more? So what the fuck you want me to do about it? All right, ladies. I get asked this question all the time. When it comes to your ex-boyfriend, ex-husband, baby daddy, whatever, y'all break up, the nigga move on, he's in a relationship the next day. Okay? He not resting, he not stopping, he just rebounds, he's on to the next one. Okay? And you're like, God damn. But you take a time out. You're not jumping in no another relationship. You taking a time out to heal and work on yourself, right? Ain't it funny how his new chick knows everything about you? She's stalking you, right? See, the thing is this. These men are dusties. And they get into relationships with us. They get lucky. Because they know you're too good to be true. You're not even supposed to be with that man. He's a dusty. And he should have acted right when he got you, but he didn't. He showed his ass. So he's going to cheat on you 9 times out of 10 with a bum bitch. And when I say bum bitch, I'm not describing her looks. She could be attractive. She could be ugly. Let's not even talk about her looks. I'm talking about her character. See, bum bitches love competing with successful women. A bum bitch loves going after other people's men. A bum bitch will overlook a nigga's dirty, badass character just to one up another woman. She will compete with you, think she's stealing the man from you, and then get mad when you don't fight over him or want the motherfucker back. So now she's stuck with that nigga and she's finding out he's trash. But she doesn't have the confidence or self-respect like you do to walk away from the nigga. He's going to end up walking away from her. And they will break up. I don't know. These women be thinking they the exception. No, honey, you're no better than the rest of us. You thought that he was going to do you better, and he actually did you fucking worse because he knows you're trash. Any woman that knowingly fucks with a man that already has a woman is trash. He knows that about her. That's why he's going to dog walk her 10 times worse. He can't trust her. Look how they got together. How the fuck you gonna build a healthy relationship when you had to steal a nigga away from another woman to build that shit? How can you trust the nigga knowing he would cheat? If he cheat on another woman, he'd cheat on you. And he don't fucking trust her either. Because she's sneaky and evil for helping him creep behind his woman's back. So they both can't trust each other. They both got to go to bed sleeping with one eye open. What type of relationship is that? So their relationship is going to get boring real fast, real quick, especially if you don't fight over him, especially if you block him and you block her and you move the fuck on and you start doing well, way better in life now that the nigga is gone. So he's going to punish her and eventually step out and cheat on her. And she's going to be sitting up paranoid thinking he back with you. But you don't want him back. Nah, boo-boo, that's all you. That's trash. And just like a raccoon, these nasty bitches go through the trash. They want the nigga that's trash simply because he was with another woman. And she's competing with that woman. Bitch, I don't fucking know you. Even if I did, I wouldn't fucking compete with you. Here, have the man, have him, he's yours. So I'm telling you, when they break up, she's going to stalk you. Number one, he talks about you morning, noon, and night to this woman. He can make her insecure just by talking about you because you're beautiful, successful, you got it going on. She's going to be threatened and jealous and wondering if he's going to sneak away and sleep with you. If you will let him back again and sleep with you, because that's what she did. She was creeping with him behind your back. That's her character. So she's going to be scared and paranoid and wondering if he's going to do the same with you. No, he can't come back. No, boo-boo, me and you are not the same. We are both women, but the difference is my moral compass, my integrity, my self-respect. I value myself, and I don't let dog-ass niggas come back. He cannot spin the block. He can do that shit to you. He can't come back ever. So you might as well stop stalking and wondering if he's back over here in my bed. Even though I could have him, even if I whistled, he'd be at my fucking doorstep, bitch. She gonna be stalking you. She paranoid. But little does she know, he not in your bed. He in somebody else's bed. So he gonna cheat on her and dog her out. The only thing is she's paranoid and she's stalking you now. You done move the fuck on and this bitch is stalking you. It's 5 years later. She's still in your fucking, all over your page. 3, 4, 5 years later, he done moved on to 2 different women and she's still keeping up with your life, watching everything you do. Ladies, the reason why these women are like this is because they're sociopaths. You got to know what a narcissist and a sociopath is. When a woman is trash and in competition and sleeping with other people's men, that is a character flaw within her. She is a narcissist, okay? And only a trashy, narcissistic woman would help an abusive man harm another woman. That's why he chose her. She's nothing more than a pawn and a tool that he could use to try to break you down, and it didn't work. It backfired. So he dumped her and moved on to the next woman. So if you're wondering, yes, narcissism is a sickness. Being a sociopath is a sickness. They are stalkerish and they will stalk you fucking forever. That's why I will never let a nigga come back and spin the block on me, because he will have all types of bitches hating you for no reason. You don't know these fucking bitches. He got them watching your social media. His baby mamas is all over your social media. Like his family, like he got everybody watch you. That's sociopathic behavior. That's why he chose that bitch, because she lowered her self-esteem just to help a nigga hurt and harm another woman, just so she could have the one up. But she actually got the one down because he hates her. And, you know, their relationship is basically built on quicksand. She's fucking just as delusional as he is. And when he cannot use her anymore to try to make you jealous, she goes in the trash. He ain't gonna want her no more. He's already on to the next woman. He 3 relationships down the line, and she's still stalking your page.
I need the alternative girlies to stop dating these like Ben Shapiro, Morgan Wallen mini-me's, right? Because I fear they hate your existence. Now, I know there's some exceptions. If he lets you thrive, if he loves you for who you are, do your thing, right? But some of these dudes actually hate you. And I'm honestly curious as to how, out of all of the alternative men in the world, you ended up with this absolute wet noodle of a man. But before I get into the story time that even has me telling you guys about this, I just want to tell you that I'm sorry if I'm talking funny. My face hurts. I feel I've been punched. I feel I've been punched in the face. Because my nose ring, my nostril ring that I've had for a couple months now, honestly, this nose ring's been sketchy from the very beginning, okay? I got it pierced at Myrtle Beach when I went on a girls trip with my best friend. The dude who pierced it did it with a fucking earring gun, okay? Decisions were made. It is what it is. But I got it done a couple of months ago. I haven't taken it out the entire fucking time, right? I've had the same nose ring in the entire time. Well, last night I was giving my son a hug goodnight. His hair got caught in it, pulled it out, couldn't find my nose ring. So I went about 12 plus hours without my nose ring in. Now, I forgot how quickly, at least for me, I don't know if this is how it is with everybody, but at least for me, if my nose ring falls out, I've got about an hour before that bitch closes, okay? But that somehow just slipped my mind. So I was like, okay, it's fine. I'll drop my daughter off at school, then I'll run to Spencer's or Hot Topic, get some new nose rings. It'll be all good. So I go to Spencer's, right? For whatever reason, I told the lady at Spencer's that my nose was an 18 gauge. Bitch, it's a 20. It's a 20. It's a fucking 20. If you don't know how gauges work, a 20 gauge is actually smaller than an 18 gauge, okay? The smaller the number, the thicker the jewelry. So not only has it slipped my mind that by now my nose is most likely closed, but I'm also sitting here buying nose rings that are thicker than what I was pierced with, right? Anyways, I get to Spencer's. They're doing buy 2, get 2 free. So I was like, oh, hell yeah. I've been wanting to see if my septum's still open because I pierced my septum back in like 6th grade. I'm almost 28 now. It's been like 5+ years since I've worn it. Didn't think it would still be open. Oh, this went in like butter. Like a hot knife through motherfucking butter. It was still wide open. So I'm like, oh, hell yeah, this is going to be a cakewalk, right? Put my septum in. I think it's real cute. I'm like, all right, time to put this nostril back in. Yeah, it's not going in. Not only is it not going in because it's like pretty much like 80% closed. Like the top was still a little bit open, but all this back here, closed. All that in the middle, closed. Not only is it not going in because it's like 80% closed, it's also not going in because the jewelry is thicker. Is thicker than what I was pierced with. So not only am I now having to face the reality of having to reopen my piercing, but I'm also simultaneously having to stretch it. Now, like I said, I pierced my septum back in 6th grade. When I was in middle school, I went real crazy with the piercings, okay? I pierced this side of my nose one time in 6th grade. I pierced this side of my nose like 2 or 3 times back in 6th grade. I used to have spider bites. I used to have snake bites. I used to just have 1 lip ring. You know, I pierced my smiley. I have 6 cartilage piercings that I did myself, and I would pierce myself with anything. I've pierced myself in middle school with thumbtacks. I've pierced myself in middle school with safety pins. I pierced myself in middle school. You want to know what my bread and butter was? You know how you go to like Walmart or Claire's to get your ears pierced with the earring gun, right? And they have the earring in the gun, but the back of the earring is sharp. I used to pierce myself with that. I used one of those piercing earrings to pierce my nose one time in middle school. And out of all those janky ass piercings I gave myself, I never remember suffering in the way I just suffered. Because I suffered. I don't know what depression does to your nerve endings, right? But me being in a depression back in middle school, it really did me some favors when it came to the piercings. Because now that life is worth living, I have suffered. Do you understand? The top of my lip hurts. The side of my face hurts. God forbid I have to sneeze. There was suffrage. There was tears. All right? But we got it done. I have an 18 gauge ring in my nose and I have my septum back. Love that for me. But now back to the story time that has to do with the beginning of this video. I was inside of Spencer's. I was looking at the nostril rings. I was looking at the nostril rings in the little, the big box. And then this couple walks in. The girlfriend, she's very clearly alternative. She's got the dyed hair. She's got, 2 nose rings. I think she had a septum as well. She has like the dark makeup. She was very clearly an alternative gal. Her boyfriend, he was there. Not real memorable. He was like a glass of milk, very, very typical white boy from the South. Button-up plaid shirt, probably a pair of Levi jeans, not sure what shoes he was wearing, which wouldn't be a problem if it didn't come across as though he like hated his girlfriend's existence. Truthfully, he seemed uncomfortable inside of Spencer's just in general, right? So knew it probably wasn't going to go well. Honestly, I do try to mind my business out in public. I don't try to be up in everybody's business, up in everybody's conversation, but me and the girl were damn near rubbing shoulders, all right? Because we were both looking at the exact same thing. We were both looking at nostril rings. So, I'm trying to mind my business. I'm just sitting here trying to pick out what nose rings I want, trying to keep an eye on my son, make sure he's not running crazy through the store. And then, I hear her, she's pointing out these nose rings that she likes. Like I said, she has both sides of her nose pierced. So she was looking at one of those nose rings where it has one nose ring and then like a chain that connects to the other nose ring, and like the chain would go across the top of your nose. Honestly, with her aesthetic, I thought it would look very cute. But she's pointing it out, she's talking about how cute she thinks it is, and then all of a sudden she cuts herself off and she's like, but you would probably hate that though, talking to her boyfriend. And he was like, yeah, I actually would hate it. Hate it or her? It or her? The nose rings or the girlfriend? And like, it wasn't that big of a deal at first, but it was what happened directly after that, right? Because she ended up not picking out any nose rings because he very quickly shut her down. Right? Very quickly shut her the fuck down. Then all of a sudden she wasn't interested in looking at the nose rings anymore. They go to the next big box. That one had tongue rings in it. I'm not sure if she has her tongue pierced or not, but they were looking at the different ones and she had said something like, oh yeah, they have like these ones and these ones. And then she pointed out the vibrating tongue rings. Now you could tell by her tone of voice that she was just being like playful with him, because I mean, that's your fucking girlfriend. And so she was like, yeah, they got the vibrating tongue rings. Could you imagine that? This motherfucker looks her in her face and is like, no, and I actually don't want to imagine it. Ah! It gave me the heebie-jeebies. It gave me the gasted flabbers, because what the fuck are you talking about? Do you not like this girl? Do you not like your girlfriend? Like, I couldn't understand what was happening. Like, that motherfucker had a negative response to like everything I heard her say. Like, I mean, genuinely, it got to the point where I ended up like verbally reacting and I didn't even mean to. I was like, ugh, my God. I don't know if they heard me, but yeah, girl, my God.
Join the live and comment LeBron James.
It is so important that as a pretty woman, you understand that you are a pretty woman and you understand that other people perceive you as a pretty woman. Especially if you are a black woman, okay? Especially if you are a black woman. If you do not understand that you are beautiful and other people perceive you as beautiful, you are going to struggle a lot more in life than you need to. You are going to be disappointed a lot more than you even realize when you don't realize that other people perceive your beauty. Most pretty women have been humbled down to the point where they believe that they are on an even level playing field, and that as an average person, they're also getting perceived and it's projecting back on them that they're average as well. That is a dangerous mindset to have. You are going to be very disappointed by the outcomes in life if you just sit here and believe that it's a level playing field and people don't perceive you to have a higher level of superiority up against them. So for instance, I had an interview yesterday. It was a Zoom interview with a place in Virginia. I obviously have to wait for these people to let me in to get the Zoom meeting started for the interview. Obviously, it's for a place in Virginia, so I already know that it's about to be some white people. I don't know if it's going to be white women. I don't know if it's going to be a white man. I don't know what the sex or the gender or the race is going to be of these people. Aside from the race and the gender of people that you have to deal with, you have to understand micro expressions. And then you also have to ask yourself, when they say things, you need to ask yourself, why are they saying the things that they're saying? So, older white woman is the first person to jump on the call. She seems nice, like she's smiling. She's playing the role, okay? Because the thing about it is that, especially in the workplace, there's a role. We all got to put our corporate suit on. We all got to put our customer service suit on whenever we decide to go to work. Second person hops on the call. It's another white woman. She's like a middle-aged white woman. Like, she probably is anywhere between 40 to 45. She's completely disengaged from me. Completely disengaged from me. She's like looking at like another screen. And I don't know if that was because her camera, well, it couldn't have been. Her camera, even if her camera was right here, she would still be able to look. But she was looking like this the whole time during the whole entire interview. Then the third person that logged on, she didn't show her face at all. I have never been on a Zoom call with any interviewer that did not show their face on Zoom. Even when I did consultations, I never, ever spoke to anyone that did not show their face. Right away, I already knew I wasn't going to get the job. Immediately. Before they even got to talking, I already knew that I was not going to get the job. Then the first woman, the woman that was playing the role, so at face value, she actually looked as though she would like be nice. She said something that was very interesting to me. She says, "I'm so glad that you decided to cut on your camera for us to see your face." AKA, I'm so glad that we were able to see that you are a pretty black woman because we don't want your ass here. So already in my brain, I'm like, I don't care about this goddamn interview. I'm just going to say whatever it is that I need to say, but I already know I'm not getting this job. I could tell right away, I'm not getting this job. When people have an expectation for the unknown and you exceed the expectation, you are going to fail. You're going to fail the other person when you exceed that person's expectations. This is the reason why you need to understand that you're beautiful enough and you're smart enough that you're always going to exceed people's expectation. And it's going to make them feel very uncomfortable. First lady and I are talking. She's explaining everything with the job to me. And then the person who would actually be like my boss, my direct boss, she's the one that doesn't have her camera on. So the person that I would actually have to report to does not have her camera on. The first lady asks her, "Hey, do you want to ask her the additional questions?" And the woman's like, "Yes, I do." So she asked me all of these ultrasound, like general related questions, and I go on ahead and answer them. One of them I did not answer entirely correctly. One of them, despite me answering it correctly, she still tried to correct me as if I answered it wrong. 85% of the questions that she asked me, I passed with flying colors. So even showing a level of competence was not going to be enough for them to be comfortable with the fact of having them hire me or letting them have me work there. When you put a mirror up to people's inadequacies, naturally they're not going to want you in the same environment as them. And when you understand that, you're not going to take things as personal as you need to, because guess what? I have a job. It's just not at that place, but I have a job. I didn't even care because I already knew right away, yeah, this place isn't going to hire me. They don't like me. They don't like my vibe. It's cool. I'm going to get through the interview and do what I got to do. I'm not going to take it personal. No matter how much you reduce yourself down, no matter how much you feed into this humbling culture, it's in you. It's not on you. And so there's no amount of watering yourself down that you're ever going to be able to do to make other people feel comfortable. Even if it isn't in regards to your beauty. If you have a high level of confidence, if you show that you are highly competent in whatever skill or trade that you have, it is going to make other people feel uncomfortable. There is no amount of hiding that you are going to be able to do for people to not be able to read that and sense that shit. You can only hide and mask things so well. So if a person senses a sense of superiority or they see you higher in the hierarchy than where they place themselves, do not take it personally when things don't pan out the way that you don't want them to. Do not take it to heart. Take it with a grain of salt and understand that there's no point of you being in places that people don't want you at anyway. Because if they were to let you be in there, all they would do would just torment you for being beautiful, for being smart, for being confident. Let yourself grow and thrive in the places that are going to facilitate your growth.
I quit my job so I don't have to work the holidays, and now a new mom has to work in my place. I'm an ICU nurse, and for the last 6 years, I've worked every Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas, and New Year's. It was no big deal to work all these holidays because I don't have immediate family, widowed 5 years ago, and no children due to infertility issues. My parents and siblings have jobs in retail and public safety, which require them to work the holidays as well, so we traditionally celebrate the holidays several days after the actual holiday. This year, my parents retired and wanted to take a family trip to Europe because we have so many relatives in Europe, and they wanted to go to the European Christmas markets. In July of this year, I requested the week of Christmas off, and it was approved. My brother and sister, as well as their spouses, also got the time off from their jobs since it was requested so early. We're heading to Europe for Christmas. Fast forward to the last week of October, my boss calls me into the office to tell me she has to take away my Christmas vacation because a coworker had a baby a few months ago and she needs the time off to celebrate the baby's first Christmas. This same coworker had a baby last year and had this baby 10 months from the other one. The coworker did not work any holidays last year and is not scheduled to work any this year. Made boss aware of this point. I argued that my vacation request was approved back in July, and I made plans based on that request being approved. Also that I've worked the last 6 Christmas holidays and would be working Thanksgiving and New Year. She stated that the priority for holiday vacations was given to those who had families. I informed her that just because I'm widowed and do not have any children does not mean I do not have a family. She backpedaled and stated that people with children were given priority so they could spend Christmas with them. Again, I reminded her that my vacation was approved back in July and I would not cancel my trip so someone who did not request vacation time in a timely manner could have time off just because she had a baby. Needless to say, my boss did not change her mind. She put me on the schedule for Christmas and took my coworker off. I took the issue to HR and they simply said the manager is the one who determines the schedule and no work rules were broken. Well, her plan backfired as I turned in my notice and my last day will be the day before Thanksgiving. Since I quit, my coworker now has to work Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Hell yeah.
My other coworkers are saying I'm the jerk for not just sucking it up and working Christmas and letting my other coworker have Christmas with her baby. Normally, I do work all the holidays so people can just have time with their family. I have for the past 6 years. The one time I want to do something special with my family, I'm the villain. I do not feel like I'm the asshole here since I requested the time off and made plans accordingly. I will greatly miss my job as I love the hospital where I worked at and the unit I was in. However, it is time for reflection and to put me first, something I haven't done since my husband passed. Since nursing jobs are plentiful, I plan on taking the entire month of December off and look for a new job in the new year.